the season so far, honestly. He'll be nerfed in 12.3, but that's going to be locked in for Jojopyun.
And this is going to be another new one for Jojo. He has played so many different champions already, so many styles. He's playing melee carries, he's playing range. He's going to get actually 2 more games on the Twisted Fate previously to get a test on his map play.
Bwipo praying to the top lane gods.
Yeah. Do I get counterpick? Do I get a jungler?
Gank for me, Santorin.
Santorin tends to put his time towards mid lane, but Jarvan definitely a good early ganker.
Exactly, and Jarvan is very good, again, versus a lot of these very popular mid laners that don't have dashes of their own. Twisted Fate is one of those that you also want to put pressure on early on to keep in mid lane, or at least keep vision of them. So I think Jarvan is actually a really good early pick here from Team Liquid for Santorin.
It'll be interesting to see where TL goes as far as mid, if they want to just go towards something scaling, you know, control mage, or if they want to go to where more of the older school answers, things like the Sylas that can steal the TF ult and try to match the roams. You can go aggressive, something like the LeBlanc to just try to keep them, you know, pinned under tower, utilize the kill pressure of LeBlanc plus Jarvan to try to really lock him down. You know, there's kind of different schools of thought here.
Yeah, they're hovering the Zillion here as a shout out to Bjergsen, but you know, I think one of the other counters is probably more likely. The Sylas always has been quite good as far as matching Twisted Fate roams. Plus, when we're talking about putting pressure on the Twisted Fate, and you brought up the Jarvan, we go for kill pressure there, you can go for those engages. Sylas done, plus knockups there from Jarvan would be able to get the job done. And I have to say, picking a Varus already seeing a Jarvan is another backline carry for EG that is low mobility that will be a very good target.
I wonder if Tahm Kench is going to get banned out as a result by TL, because that's gaining some popularity. I tend to feel Tahm Kench is actually really good in the later stages versus J4. You can eat your carry out of the Cataclysm, give a lot of defense there.
I'm actually interested to see what happens with this Gwen. Of course, we have seen Impact add Gwen to the champion pool. I'm also a very big fan of the build he goes for. Conqueror plus a Cosmic Drive second, I think, is actually her optimal build. So I think Impact's like ahead of the build tech very, very slightly. But also, she can be flexed into jungle. We saw her in the LCK last night, for example. Actually looks really good down there as well. She does have a somewhat weaker landing phase. You get to kind of bypass that with the champion. So Inspired tends to do well with these sort of melee mage carry champions. So could see the flex happen.
And I think it's important that they grab the Gwen in the first 3 because you're talking about the series for Team Liquid where Bwipo was hard carrying. You know, he tried to do it on the Graves, got super far ahead, pushed in the tower, he's running around the map, he's doing all that he can, but couldn't quite carry the team. And then he's like, next game, give me Gwen. Oh, super hard carry, and does it. So see if what he's got here in an answer to Gwen. Funnily enough, you know, Graves is one of the champions that has been picked over into Gwen, and he himself has actually used that matchup. Very well could do that again. EG could ban it out here. Gangplank, the first one. That was one of the very popular early picks into Gwen. Jenkins definitely popularized that one as well. So trying to protect a little bit Impact there, because they know Bwipo can be a big problem.
And Bwipo is one of those guys that is not afraid to bring out, you know, a more risky pick. You know, he brought out things like the Rengar. You know, I would be interested to see if he's going to be willing to bring out, you know, something like that, or the Jax that actually scales very well into the Gwen. Fiora's another one. Some of these more risky side lane split pushers that can scale against it, I think can be really effective.
I would say it is problematic though, because you're facing a real Twisted Fate. Yes, I do like Sylas into Twisted Fate as far as stealing it and the possibilities there, but the actual real Twisted Fate will often get an early move, you know, especially if you don't have vision control. And if you play a counter matchup like that wants to really scale and take advantage, then it gets risky.
One caveat I will give, I mean, it's not going to be Jax, so it doesn't really matter, but Counter-Strike also great against Gold Card. You know, can block that. You know, it's something I've been wanting to see more of in the LCS. Haven't brought it out. I think a lot of it is just, it's harder to team fight. You know, Graves is kind of work with the composition here pretty well. You know, be able to push in the Gwen early, group and team fight, you know, a lot more effectively than something like the Jax. So TL has been largely playing a lot of these really low engage style comps. At least this time they do have the J4, but they've been really preferring a lot of kind of depending on being first to a neutral objective to force a fight with their opponent.
I think EG needs something to kind of pull some structure to their team fight. Okay, because they did have 2 offensive melee, you know, carries here with the Gwen and the Viego, but a Braum actually brings a lot to the team fight for them, not necessarily so much, you know, for the lane phase. Very defensive option for them on that side of the map.
And we have saved support picks for last, so it is TL getting counter pick down here. Braum, not a good offensive pick. You can kind of freely scale against him. And great, Aphelios Lulu, there's almost no way you kill us in lane unless TF shows up. And we, I would say, outscale him.
Exactly. This is for sure a Vulcan pick for the team here for Braum to bring it together. Because as I say too, you've got your 2 melee carries. Gwen, Viego, so good at jumping in there, getting the proc on Braum very quickly with the passive if he's able to land a Q. Also, it sets up a crazy level 1 for EG. You've got Braum, so much early power here. They could actually, you know, try and get some deep vision. We've seen teams be rewarded very heavily for preparation and going for these level 1s. So hopefully they've got something to really utilize this power, because Braum is definitely one of the best level 1s.
It's really interesting because, I mean, EG can play 1-3-1 very effectively, but I also think, you know, with a rapid-fire TF and a Varus, you can also just fish for long-range gold cards. You have the ability to follow up with a Varus.
Team Liquid squad has showed quite a few options.
All right, we are on to this one. Welcome to the Rift. Welcome to the LCS Lock-In Finals, our second ever 10th year of LCS here, and it's going to be a fun one. The new look Evil Geniuses, 17-year-old Jojopyun, a rookie in the mid lane, former LEC MVP inspired, brought over. Vulcan from Cloud9 and Evil Geniuses look like the team to beat, undefeated so far in Lock-In, looking like #1. Team Liquid playing what ostensibly is going to be their starting roster for the foreseeable future, with Eyla at support, and Bwipo coming over from Europe, and Bjergsen back in from retirement. Well, from coaching, not the same thing. That is different. It is different, to be fair.
Well, I mean, he did retire as a player.
Yeah,
right?
he did.
So I think you're still safe in that regard. And I've got to give Bjergsen a lot of credit. You know, I was one of the people that I think was doubting a little bit how good he would be coming back. You know, having watched him stream a fair bit, I felt like he was making a lot more mistakes than he used to. But coming into Lock-In, I think he's been arguably the best performing mid laner. At the very least, he's up there with Jojo. I think he's been really, really impressive.
And that's the exciting part to me, is that the next name I was going to offer is literally his opponent here, Jojo, who people have also been skeptical on for very different reasons. You know, Bjergsen, extremely experienced and coming off of, you know, semi-retirement from coaching, but Jojo coming up, the new young guns, North American talents, and a lot of people not giving full credit to the early hype train of, you know, academy lovers who really, you know, want to be on the bleeding edge, but he has performed extremely well so far in Lock-In. I think deserving of a lot of the hype.
Yeah, it shows that the hype is very much real. You know, people, you know, from EG and people from other teams and in the academy scene were really trying to sell me on this guy, and I'm, you know, full steam ahead on the Jojopyun.
I will say I am full steam ahead now. I am by nature a skeptic. You know, obviously background all in math and sciences, and so you have to be skeptic at first. But I think I've seen enough data. I'm on the train.
Yeah, you're like, okay, this is worth investigating. Like, this has some promise. Can't disprove it. Can't. Okay, you know, maybe it's true. Yeah, and we're in there right now.
So I'll just blindly have faith.
And sometimes that works too.
And checking in on that mid lane, as we said, Jarvan can gank early, but Santorin goes over a ward, so Inspired's here for the counter. That could be disastrous.
Jojo's baiting. There's the gold card shield. Is Zomba going to find that first stun? A double shot as well. Yeah, you got to EQ back out. That trinket ward put in that bottom river brush is MVP.
Also want to point out how Jojo has been playing this lane. Very, very frequent harassment. Only one potion. Now Bjergsen finally chugs his last potion here on Sylas, and he's been very effective at denying the CS while getting the harassment down, even looking for the zone.
There's no way you kill him, yeah, with that heal coming in.
Zone off the minions that are dying there, still trying to die more to Bjergsen. Sylas, you always have this problem of trying to trade your health for your lane control, and it seems like he's having a difficult time keeping that one up. Bjergsen, though, will have to use the last remnants of his health before he teleports.
Absolutely will. It's kind of funny because Santorin walked past that trinket ward and it was about to expire, but knowing that there was the counter gank, he's like, oh, I got spotted in ward. So he immediately went back to the river, walked through the same path as his sweeper on, but the ward expired before he got there. So he never actually got to get that payout of at least clearing out that ward. And up on the top side, Bwipo going to have to be a bit careful here, as Inspired is going to help Impact just reset this wave and potentially grab some Krugs for himself.
Okay, yeah. Looking at this one, this could be interesting because TL have managed to sit in a brush that I believe isn't warded, so potentially EG plays up too far. They don't go for the turbo push, they don't burn out all their cooldowns and mana, so all right, we walk back in, play for the wave normally. This would have been a normal reset timing though. If you're going to recall, you recall in front of a cannon. It means that they push, you don't lose more than a single melee minion. So it was a nice attempt at a bait. It doesn't mean anything though, and EG,
Three-person dive.
play it safely. Top side is where we're looking now. Jojopyun is level 5, Bwipo now the same, just a long sword, no potions left, but as the wave is cleared out, Bwipo able to keep it off his tower, no dive.
One of the most robust parts about Graves, you have so much AoE, clearing the wave there, denying the possible dive, the roam from Jojo, and because of the ward in Tribrush, even can stop the recall and delay this Twisted Fate more, denying CS. Yes, the teleport can be used to get there quickly, but that's a couple more dropped due to the roam up to the top side, and Impact's going to trade lanes.
Yep, just going to be able to base there, and he wanted to TP back to try to catch the wave that was out of the tower because Jojo was going to lose a full wave. But what this has bought TL is Bwipo actually fending that off means Bjergsen catches up in farm and gets another free base because he actually had to TP back very early. He was down 2 full waves. He matched that farm in the time that Jojo spent going top and then basing. Then he gets another free recall to actually buy another item and walk back to lane. So, you know, all of the kind of earlier lane woes that Bjergsen had now pretty much erased.
The bonuses of absorbing pressure from the top lane and denying the possible play there, the time spent. I'm looking forward to time spent from Inspired down towards the bottom lane though, because Inspired versus Han Sama is also another cool matchup. It's not an exact lane matchup, but obviously the former teammates looking to one-up each other now that they've come over to the LCS.
You can see how much respect Bwipo is actually paying to the fact that TF can make these roams and that he may be that focus of pressure. Early Merc Treads as his first buy here is pretty atypical for a Graves, but going against Viego stun, the point and click gold card, there's a lot of CC on this team, and the MR and move speed is going to be helpful against Gwen. So I think it makes sense if you're saying my role in this game is just to clear the wave and stand at my tower and not die while the rest of my team gets things done.
Yeah, so far it would be a small checkbox here for Team Liquid because they avoided the early roam timer from EG. And Santorin, as we said from Champ Select with his Jarvan, trying to put that pressure on Twisted Fate. This was the 3rd pass that he made by mid lane before transitioning down to the Dragon to pick up Team Liquid's first objective. And
well done. That map has been useful. Obviously, it is a 500 gold lead still to EG. Most of that is not TF passes. They are outlaning the opposition. But tell you what, the first dragon actually looks pretty good. Not the best individual dragon stats-wise. It doesn't give you a whole lot that you care about, but it does start you on the path that if you are looking for a dragon soul later on in the game, well, you're already a quarter of the way there. It's going to look pretty good. Top laner scrapping back and forth. Like the Merc Treads from Bwipo, you got a lot of hard stuns from the entire rest of the team. You get tenacity almost everybody, and you're getting magic damage in the lane, so I am a big fan of that one. And now we get a fight in the top side as the ultis come across. Decent damage. Bwipo attacks the minion for more. The Qs come out. The big ulti, the flash from the Q. Able to sidestep, inspired stun. No death on a Bwipo.
And one of the important things in the escape here, whenever you're playing versus Gwen, so critical to move sideways when she jumps at you with the Q, because the center of the snip does so much more, and some people would get kind of lazy, you know, and just you know, face tank it or try and run in a straight line. But it's very critical to sidestep the middle of it, avoid a lot of that damage. Bwipo had pretty good movement there. Also dodges out on the W stun.
Ignite, oh, almost. One auto would have been the stun. Ayla's already down flash, but it's nothing picked up. TF.
Yes, here.
Showing up on both sides. Bjergsen's here first, and then it's first blood in the bottom lane. Vulcan can find a slow, but not much else as the squad runs away, staying alive barely, but summoners are down for EG, and a kill on the board for Team Liquid.
Yeah, huge roam there, down from Bjergsen. Arriving first with that stolen TF ulti, they're the ones that come out on top on this, gets a kill, and now they're going to be able to take plates. I mean, Han Sama had their chakrams all stacked up and was fighting back very heavily as they were trying to burst down Eyla. He returned so much damage. When Bjergsen arrives, it's an easy kill over onto Danny. They push it in, they get the plate. They have a 20 CS lead almost on this base for Han Sama, so he's going to have a really nice buy.
Plus, this is going to mean a lot moving forward. You already have first dragon. If you're able to get that advantage for your bottom side, continue stacking up. But here it is. The flash and heal forward from Danny had been used early, so that's why so successful from Bjergsen as he comes in a split second before Jojo. The attempt there, just like 1 second of difference.
Yeah.
If they had been a little bit more proactive in coordinating that there and actually been able to punish could have been completely the other story.
Absolutely. And Danny, I think, just needed one more auto onto Eyla, you know, to actually proc that Braum passive. That's why he was going for that flash forward. If you get that passive stun, your Q is guaranteed, you're going to get that kill, and the fight can look pretty different. But unfortunately for them, it's these slim margins, and TL getting the best of them so far.
Yeah, Hansama had the white gun. That meant the damage was really high from the chakrams, and it looked tough.
And again, the first step from mid lane, so critical. And you saw how a couple of seconds could mean the difference, because if you're coordinating ahead of time and your Twisted Fate ultimate, no matter who's holding it, is the one that gets to join that play earlier if they had been on the offensive there. Here's the follow-up, though, from Team Liquid. Level 6 on Santorin, so they have full authority here, moving into the jungle after chunking out Twisted Fate and even bringing Bjergsen down for the follow-up.
And this really hurts for Danny, because he was down 20 CS off of that previous play, and now getting zoned off more farm, more plates being donated over here to Hansama. So Danny significantly down in gold now to this Aphelios that is going to scale really nicely, you know, into the mid game here with this Lulu in the back pocket. You know, the trade-off has been on the other side. Inspired has been farming much more efficiently than Santorin. You know, he farms faster. The J4 has been looking for more ganks, but it does mean that there's a lot more pressure, I think, on Inspired to try to make something happen with his gold advantage.
And it's more difficult for him to do so because look at the summoner spells. Danny, having blown his offensively there, has nothing for the follow-up play. And Hansama has both cleanse and flash ready in addition to completing his Gale Force. Gale Force to be the single most influential AD carry item there is in the game.
Ooh, we got to fight. We got a TF this time around. Bwipo doesn't have a teammate to show up with, so spells are going to land. And Impact finds the kill. EG going to play for top lane. And this is the way they're going to get back into this game.
Yeah, back up to top lane again here. They do punish the missing flash. Bwipo was trying to reset the wave, and it's a really nice timing here by EG, getting up there, able to punish. And you can see the kind of setup that they have. This line of pink wards across that topside river is covering Jojopyun on these roams. So he can cheat out of lane anytime he pushes out the wave. He can disappear into fog. And Bwipo can't always play with respect to that, or he's going to lose the freeze.
And now look at this. What really matters is teleport used back to the top side. So this dragon stacking in jeopardy for Team Liquid. Evil Geniuses, they've got the teleport advantage with Impact still holding his. It's not unleashed yet, so you would have to teleport to your tower, but you could try and trade top plates if you wanted to cut out the dragon stacking from Team Liquid early on. They don't look like they're making that choice because they're sending Gwen back up to the wave that's at top side. They value that gold and denying Bwipo, you know, working all of those turret plates off on top side, but it does set up this kind of looming factor of the dragon stacking for Team Liquid going according to plan.
And I think it would have been a tough fight for EG, given that there's no ulti on Impact, no ulti on Jojo, so even if you do TP down, might have been difficult to execute on, and then you're gonna lose multiple plates. But in this case, Impact doesn't TP to bot side, loses a plate top side, and they lose the dragon. So Impact, I think, is more setting up for an unleashed TP play post 14 minutes. He didn't want to spend it now. So look for EG to try to make a proactive cross-map play as soon as that 14-minute mark hits.
All right, here's some Herald pressure. Of course, Bwipo's flash is back up. His ult is soon. Impact used Ghost in the previous fight, so not a big play for him. And though one turret play was taken, that one's going to be shared 50-50. But now Vulcan can try to start the dive. Bwipo burns the flash. No wave right now means wait for this one, clear out the wave.
Everyone's coming top.
And Vulcan's down to half HP, so it's time to run away. Inspired says I'm not on a ward. That's fine. Bwipo completely fearless, chasing down 3 opponents. And indeed, they'll have to walk away. So the Herald just gives 160 apiece. Nothing else claimed for that one. TL already 2 dragons to 0.
Bwipo is such a Chad. Every time there's an opening, and you can see it from their information on the minimap, how they know the positioning of each player. He uses this window to go aggressive on 3 people, push back so quickly that they're going to get just as many plates because Hansama has the white gun. Does take tower aggro there with his attempt with the green gun harassment onto Impact, but still able to push it out extremely quickly right back and get a plate for themselves.
Yeah.
Almost 2.
And he's going to be going Eclipse again here, so he's not going Shield Bow, even though he has been really under a lot of pressure. I wouldn't have been surprised to see him go Shield Bow this game. You know, Shield Bow is still by far the most common, but he's gotten lethality every time he has actually played for this. We'll see if he wants to go, full-on aggressive style build, or if he'll maybe at least go like a defensive lethality item. Edge of Night or something could be potentially effective playing against someone like the GF.
Okay, they got the ulti on Hansama. Flash and Cleanser down, but he's already stunned. Second time gold card low. Stun duration, but the kill is in. Vulcan's going to guarantee the second one as well. Eyla burns the ulti. But he wastes a 2-minute cooldown for nothing. 2 more kills on the board. Evil Genius is back alive.
This is huge for them too, because they can then finally push down this top outer turret for themselves, try and get some of that map control back. That is a big commitment of resources, but if you look at the state of the map, there was nothing pushing out for Team Liquid except for the top side. So a very good window taken advantage of there by Evil Geniuses.
Well, and Impact's going aggressive now on Santorin, who used his EQ.
On Santorin has a flash, E to follow, it's back up. Last ulti brings him low, and there's the snip, kill. 4-1 right now. A TP is safety. Just barely. Bjergsen will live. That stun was a half second for hitting him.
Yeah, Santorin there just really kind of overestimating Bjergsen.
Good sidestep.
Yeah, good sidestep there. I mean, Santorin EQs in to secure the red buff with the smite, but then Impact says, well, you got no way out, bud. Okay, I'll take that red buff right off your corpse.
Gwen, baby! The chase is always there, and the dive!
Impact pulls aggro, though, as the wave gets thinned down. Vulcan going to start it up yet again. Inspired is there, but Inspired has aggro. Inspired's going to die to the tower! Oh, a misplayed tower dive. The turret warmed up by over-aggression from Impact.
That looked like a little bit of panic because they drew tower aggro too early as Impact jumped in. Big punish there from Team Liquid just as EG were getting so much momentum.
Yeah, Bwipo able to fend that one off, and it felt like, yeah, maybe just a little bit of miscommunication because Impact clearly didn't want to die. He was backing up, but Vulcan and Inspired were posturing for that, and maybe thought they were going to be able to grab it anyway, but now Impact will have to play this a little bit safe.
That's one of those ones where you want to play the comms back and here, because it looked like it was a little bit confused comms. Yeah. Meanwhile, it's going to be the reset, though, for both teams. Right back out onto the Rift. Santorin trying to get his vision control back from the other side of the map.
And I want to see if Jojo can find this window to punish Hansama again, because they got that kill topside, and we didn't get to talk about it, but that was both summoners down plus the kill, right? And now TF ulti is back here once again. Both Cleanse and Flash are down on Hansama, so he is very vulnerable if they can find an opportunity, but he is going to be hugging the tower for now, and EG will at least move towards the Herald.
Alrighty, well, second Herald can be really valuable. No bounty to speak of course, but it can knock you down a pretty good turret. Keep in mind, second Herald does deal more damage than the first. Goes from a minimum of 2k to almost 3,000 with a late Herald, so you might see a turret die, and that can get some gold back. It'll nearly one-shot mid-turret from here.
And it would be really big if they could actually get a good setup to put it mid, because then they truly get the advantage on Twisted Fate plays.
No flash on Hansama. Can they get the rest? Is the question as Braum hits the front line, and Gwen's here as well. Hansama not immune to death, has now a backline access. Bwipo finds the kill. Assassination on the Danny, and EG may have to run away. Stolen Braum sets it up, and they find the second kill. It's a 1-for-1, though 2-for-2 overall, but now they keep on going. Bjergsen leading the charge, looking for kill number 4. TL already winning. A red card buys some time. Blast plant to safety just barely.
You cannot stop Bwipo in the backline there. He's popping off again. No matter how much this man gets focused, he is incredible.
And guess what? That's Dragon number 3. Again, while we're building up to this fight so much, the outplay here is critical. Dragon number 3 soul point for Team Liquid so early in this game.
And one of the big mistakes there, that wasn't a gold card. That was actually a red card. So a lot more damage did come out from Hansama before he did go down. And then you actually watch at the tail end of this fight that the J4 ulti comes through, and Inspired is not able to access the clone. He can't actually pick up the dead body here because it's just over the wall. He gets trapped inside. He's trying to click on the Lulu for the ulti reset, but he got put on the opposite side of the Cataclysm wall. Had he got the resets for the spam R there, that could have been a one fight for EG, but that tiny difference changed it completely.
Yeah, Inspired knows how to get pentakills on Viego, but just a little bit out of reach there. Can't get the reset. Bjergsen was able to go back in for the stun. I also wanted to say, Bwipo, in his 2v1 on the top half of that fight at the beginning, to kill off Danny was so good. Getting his ult just around to be able to finish him off, burst it through, kind of saves the fight, because off of that first kill from Impact, EG were looking like they were going to gain the momentum. So nice recovery there from Team Liquid, and the rewards for that recovery were ginormous.
I'm just so impressed with the position that Bwipo is now in this game, right? You know, how many times did they go towards top lane? You know, he's up 20 plus CS, has the same scoreline now as Impact, and that is just such a difficult situation to deal with. But now, EG may have overextended here. Everyone from TL is around.
Shields back down. Vulcan dangerously low. Vulcan will die. Santorin buys a lot of time. Lulu over the top, but it's one kill back. A second one picked up now as well. Do we get the resets? Not long enough. And now just left alone. Impact will die. A quadra kill. The Burger King is back.
TL just absolutely eviscerate EG there, pushing up for vision. TL was ready for it. You can see Bwipo. He is so happy in the player comms. They are popping off. They know this game is truly in their hands.
Jojo was talking earlier in his interview with Travis. Who is this Bjergsen guy? What has he really got to do? What's so special about him? Well, now it's a 6-kill Sylas. Let's take another look at this fight, though. Bwipo and Santorin starting it off. You get such an early health lead onto Vulcan, and then Santorin right into the center of them. Lulu ultimate for the follow-up knockup. They all get annihilated against the edge of the Cataclysm there.
Man, you can see how clear the comms were, too. That was a Q flash from the Graves as the Cataclysm is coming through. They all get locked in on the end of the line there. The Q knockback, the ulti over top. Look at how much damage Bwipo did.
Yep.
No hesitation when he's playing this lethality Graves. He flashes in to maximize damage across 3 EG characters, and Bjergsen, it's cleanup time.
And the reason that Bwipo always has this high of damage is he's always starting out these fights as Graves, you know, walking up, just forcing it face first.
He is the engage.
Auto-attacking to try and get his health lead very early on. And so him and Santorin starting that out on Vulcan, and Team Liquid, no hesitation. It bodes so well for them. You know, this team is all behind him, ready to join on this play. And now Riftfield actually going to get taken out before she gets up to the turret at all. So that second neutral objective goes down into the dirt.
You earn 100 for killing it. You get 25 back when they claim it. It's not the best neutral to claim. Keep in mind, we are 80 seconds away from Infernal Soul for Team Liquid. If your poke was good before, if your burst was good before, it gets even better. Bwipo's gonna love this one. It deals adaptive damage, so he's got the armor pen for that physical burst to do even more, and the one-shots are gonna happen. This lethality build, it's early game skewed, but he's killed him in the early game.
And he just plays so aggressively with it, right? He actually makes the most of it. The thing that impresses me most is that his playstyle always makes sense with his build, right? You know, whether it's the craziness of the Scion, you know, in the early game, split pushing with the Hullbreaker, and then he's going to start grouping, so he goes back towards the Redemption. In these games, he's playing lethality, he's playing burst heavy. He's not kiting back and hitting a frontliner. He is flashing on the carries, chunking them for 60, 70, 80% of their health. And sure, in a lot of the fights when he's played it, he dies, but he has dealt such an overwhelming amount of damage that it doesn't matter because he has already won the fight for his team.
And now that he's done so much work and won that fight for the team, you got to turn your eyes towards the person who collected the gold from the fight. Bjergsen already well on his way to completing the Cosmic Drive for Sylas, where you just have so much ability haste. You can just spam out your healing. Plus, he already has the Zonias for more time, so it becomes incredibly difficult to take down this 5v5 for TL.
You're watching Impact in this one as well. Here we go. Dragon Soul on the map, and it's Team Liquid who control the vision, but EG want to dive on in. Wards over the wall. They know what's going on. Bwipo is front-lining into the Braum, and Chunks Vulcan half HP, now taking a lick of damage back. Impact on the flank. This has to be the play. EG must try to get in. Ulti comes in for TF on the flank as well. They're diving in, and it's going to be claimed. Hansama gets the soul. Jojopyun on the back line, but shut down by Hansama. 2-1 so far. Advantage Team Liquid. Impact is trying, but Impact does not have the damage. A stopwatch gets him the time, and Impact will turn into gold just like Hansama did, but in different ways. And now Vulcan is left alone, will not live long, will not prosper. A joke I made before, but what hasn't happened yet is EG losing, but on the way, Team Liquid toward Baron.
Fellas, I think this greatly hinders EG's chances of going undefeated in the lock-in tournament. Team Liquid will pick up the Baron, they pick up the Infernal Soul, and they are absolutely crushing it. Game 1 of the finals.
Just what a performance from TL across the board. But holding out in the early game, fighting really well here. And we can see it again, another Bud Light ace coming through. It's all about the dragon here. Eyes on it, down to 200 HP off the smite, gets finished off by an auto. Jojopyun trying to come in on the flank here, trying to assist the impact and taking down Hans, but Hans still had his cleanse, he still had the flash, he had everything available to survive. Yeah,
really good focus there by Team Liquid. Finishing off the dragon, even with the reset there, and starts even gaining more health. Hans already auto attacks in the air, finish it off, and Team Liquid with that. Now you can just push in so easily with a 4-1. They can even push all 3 lanes. They're going, well, I guess it's jungle control plus 3 lanes.
Yeah,
so
they got everything.
Every person is an army.
All the gold is going to look good. I do want to point out one thing in that fight. Miscommunication or coordination between Impact and Jojopyun. Jojo jumped back line to go for Hansama. He cleansed the gold card and 1v1's it. And it's free. You're up for a cannon TF. Of course, you lose that one. Impact went for frontline. He went for the dragon side of the fight. So he wasn't there to force Hansama to Zhonya's early or whatever. So Jojo just killed himself off having no backup.
And that's tough. It's one of those decisions where, it seems like Impact is prioritizing trying to get the soul. Now they're trying to get a pick in this side lane, looking for Bwipo.
1v3.
But at the same time, it's your base that is in trouble here. We'll see how well Bwipo can do.
Ulti for ulti into Q damage. Gold card lands. There's one on the board. Now you got to get something done 5v4 because top inhibitor is going down. Will there be an answer in time? Bwipo trading his life for an inhibitor is pretty reasonable. You'd say that one's worth in all chat. Question mark ping. Hey, your base, by the way, recalls come off.
All right, pretty sure Bjergsen's going to have Cosmic Drive on recall here. His 10 stacks in his Medjais that he upgraded as well. One of the best feeling things about that too is that you get the bonuses from your Mythic on that, even though it's such a cheap item as well. So super efficient, 10 stacks already on it. As soon as he goes to purchase one more time, it's really going to be pain. And this also lands.
Good shield blocks a lot of the damage, though. Not going to be one shot just yet. Oh! Block it, shield. Flash away. Stopwatch burn. That turret will die in time. Or will it? Bjergsen gets the ulti. He's one hit from dead. There wasn't a wave. They couldn't finish the turret. That was a lot spent for no kill.
Oh, that's so frustrating for Danny, though. That would have been 1K for the Varus there in the bank if he could have knocked him down, but he can't. Now he's just going to TP back in here. Full health. The push will continue.
Vulcan's still healing back up at the base. They got to wait for a while. His middle inhibitor going to drop now as well. Dragon Soul comes up in 2.5. I should say Elder Dragon here. Big burst of damage. A flash away from Jojo. The dunk into the back line. Count him right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Everyone is going to be down. The stopwatch only buys a second as it's the 3rd ace in a row. Team Liquid walking away with the Game 1 victory. The first to beat EG so far this year. TL on the way forward.
And Bjergsen ends it legendary. 8 kills to his name. But there's a reason you're seeing Bwipo on your screen again. Previous series, super hard carry. I will say the biggest thing this time around, though, team play. Team Liquid, every member came to play this time around. Bwipo's the one that got them here, but game 1, so much of a team victory. Santorin had really good engages for them on this Jarvan. He also played to the early plan, trying to pressure the Twisted Fate, make sure they didn't get, fall prey to some of those super early roams. Started stacking the dragon extremely early on and put that pressure and draw them towards their area of the map.
It really felt like TL was just on the same page throughout the entire game. Every single time they were going for a fight, everyone is going forward at the same moment. Everyone is really coordinating very, very well to win out in those 5v5s and in those smaller skirmishes. But, this was not an easy game. They made it look easier towards the later stages, but EG, it felt like, was dictating the pace for a while, getting a lot of pressure towards topside, doing a pretty good job getting ahead with Inspired, but it was these slim margins where TL really, I just think, outperformed in the coordinated play.
And I really like the bottom lane performance as well from Hansama and Eyla. A lot of these games, bottom lanes have been very quiet, especially, for a lot of these early stages, but that successful play towards bottom side also ensured that they can keep stacking these dragons so quickly and get to that soul.
Well done, Team Liquid. They have handed EG their first loss in all of LockIn and all of the year. They're pulling ahead the series 1-0. So both the squads